What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over and ranking our top cornerbacks right now in college football 25 Ultimate Team. And you guys can see our list here is pretty stout. We've got some budget-ish guys at this stage, like even a guy like D'Angelo Hall is really budget. I don't necessarily love him. Definitely is a budget card. And we got some big ballers, like locking in for the Legends Charles Woodson. We're going to be talking about all of those things in this video now as we do dive into that. If you're new to the channel, man, please smash that subscribe button. Really do appreciate all of our recent support on the channel. Charles Woodson starting things off. I think he's got to be the S tier. Like, he's the best card in the entire game right now. Now, am I getting cards right now for Charles Woodson? No, I don't think he's worth, like, you know, I don't even want to say investing in, but kind of investing in, right? Stocking up all your Legends cards for Charles Woodson, I don't even think is a great idea. However, I think Charles Woodson is an absolute beast in the game. Easy S tier for me. Does it all on the field, especially if you play man coverage. That 96 man coverage is something that is absolutely crazy, absolutely ridiculous. Benjamin Morrison, I bought him the other day, and I do not regret it. I think he is the second best corner in the entire game right now, and does it all. For me, I play more zone coverage and man coverage, so he fits my scheme perfectly. 93 speed acceleration, great change of direction. Again, the 92 zone coverage is really solid as well. Does just everything at a really high level. Do I think you guys should buy Benjamin Morrison? Honestly, probably not. But Benjamin Morrison is a card that I definitely do like and probably won't sell throughout the entire season. Like, he's going to help me win games each and every week. Jabbar Muhammad, he is undersized, but since I play a lot of zone, I'm going to hype him up a decent amount. Now, again, only 5'10". It's the first thing I don't love about the card. 91 speed, 90 acceleration, good change of direction at 90. Plays really good zone coverage. Kind of an underrated part about this card is his tackling as well. Really solid tackler, really good pursuit. Now, if you do play man coverage, there are way better corners for you guys to pick up for your specific squad, no doubt. But if you do play zone coverage, Jabbar Muhammad is going to be an absolute beast. Now let's plug in some lower overall cards. Darrelle Revis, Jalen Ramsey, Aqib Talib, 86. Now, Darrelle Revis is an interesting card. Let's start with Revis Island. When this card was out in Season 1, he was okay. Plays really solid man coverage. His zone coverage is horrible, 6 feet tall. For me, because I play more zone coverage than man coverage, I'm going to throw him in F tier just because his inability to play man coverage. Jalen Ramsey up next. Now, I like Jalen Ramsey way more than Darrelle Revis. I don't even think they're comparable. He's taller, plays really good man coverage, but still plays decent enough zone coverage. So I'm going to throw Jalen Ramsey a D tier. Aqib Talib, obviously the 86 isn't going to be that great of a card. 85 speed, good in man coverage, not great in zone coverage. I'm going to go F tier just for the sole fact of that speed rating I wish was a little bit higher. Now back to the top. We will lead the third. If you're talking about man cover corners, because some people play more man coverage, again, I play more zone coverage. But if you're talking about man coverage corners in this game, he is one of, if not the best. 90 speed, 92 man coverage, 6'3". There's just not many downsides to this card. And honestly, if you wanted to, I don't know if I'd recommend it, but you could definitely put this card at S tier if you play man coverage. Genuinely, I might throw him at S tier just because of how good he is in man coverage. Denzel Burke will go back to the bottom. For me with Denzel Burke, he's a card I ran before. Obviously, solid speed, 6'1", solid man coverage. Better man coverage than zone coverage. I do think he's D tier, but not one of my favorite corners in the game. Next up, guys, we do see Travis Hunter. And I do like Willie the Third more than Travis Hunter. Now, is he deserving of being a whole tier ahead of him? That might be a separate answer. But I think if you're comparing Willie the Third to Travis Hunter, I think Willie the Third definitely has the advantage. Now, let's take a look at why I believe that. I do like Travis Hunter a lot. I think Willie the Third just does a little bit better because, look, if you run the cards, you're probably one to play man coverage. And I do think in man coverage, because Willie the Third is 6'3", just does a little bit more for me on the court. Now, Travis Hunter's still really good. 90 speed, 90 man coverage, 91 zone, or 91 acceleration, I apologize, 89 change of direction. He still does do everything at a pretty high level. To me, I just think Will Lee III does it at that slightly better level. And so that's why I am going to put Travis Hunter here at A tier. Mac McWilliams up next. When you talk about budget corners in the game, I think Mac McWilliams has to be one of the better cards to talk about. 86 speed, 88 acceleration, really good at man coverage. Only 5'10" though. That's kind of a little bit of a downside. But Mac McWilliams, pretty solid. Just wish he was a little bit taller. Quincy Riley, I love you. I will hype up Quincy Riley until I can't hype this card up anymore. Now, is he better than Travis Hunter? Some people say yes, some people say no. I say yes. Great speed, great man coverage, but he plays zone coverage really solid as well. And so I know Travis Hunter pursuits better and some things he does better, but I personally do like Quincy Riley more than Travis Hunter. 86 D'Angelo Hall up next. And you guys were right, man. I was gassing D'Angelo Hall for quite some time. As times went on, I've just gotten less and less high on the card. I know his speed's good, but he's only 5'10". Not great man coverage. Not great zone coverage. D'Angelo Hall, I hate to break it to you, but you're kind of mediocre. Next up, guys, we do see the good D'Angelo Hall. And although he is an 89 overall, although he is a lot better, there are still some flaws in the card. And I want to talk about it for you guys. Only an 84 man coverage on the card with being 5'10" is pretty troll, especially considering I play more zone coverage, so I might be higher on D'Angelo Hall than some people, but especially considering a lot of people are mostly man cover guys as well. Only 5'10", good speed, solid acceleration, solid in zone coverage, but he is just a little undersized. I think B tier might be the right spot for him. We'll have to exactly see here as we do go through some things, but he is undersized. I don't think the card's perfect. I do think B tier is probably where he belongs, though. Initially, I was thinking C tier, but as I look at the card, and I know a lot of people don't love D'Angelo Hall, he looks better than, or I remember him being okay. Savage up next. I know he's a newer budget-ish corner that we did get, but the card's not great. Let's look at it. 86 speed, 87 acceleration, 85 man coverage. Once again, only 5'11" though. Now, here's the situation. This card is one of those cards that if you play man coverage, going to be pretty solid. If you play zone coverage, might struggle a little bit. For the same fact of a lot of people, they're one-sided corners. I play some zone coverage, I play some man coverage, so I can't be any higher than D tier for Savage. He's okay, but kind of a one-trick pony. As much as I like Aiden Garnes, he's kind of the same thing, guys. And Aiden Garnes is okay. I used the card for quite some time, but if you play man coverage, you're going to be way better than if you play zone coverage. Is 6 feet tall, does a lot of things really well. But again, one of those things is if you are going to play any zone coverage, Aiden Garnes leaves a little bit to be desired on the field. Is he better than D'Angelo Hall? It's tough. He's a little taller, so I'll put him at A tier. But the card is not perfect, and that's what I want you guys to know and realize. Sauce Gardner is really, really solid. The problem is he is, he is what he is, guys. I mean, he's going to be expensive because he can't go below 250,000 coins. Can always sell him, though. So if you're one of those guys that you're still running Sauce Gardner because you can't sell him, I like Sauce Gardner. 87 speed, 87 acceleration, good zone, good man coverage. The more I look at Sauce Gardner, the more I think he's a B tier corner. I never thought I would say that, but as I'm looking at the card, looking at his stats, 6'3", pretty solid statistically speaking. I don't mind Sauce Gardner whatsoever in college football 25 Ultimate Team. Rod Woodson up next. I think I gotta go A tier for Rod Woodson. He's no Charles Woodson, but the card is still really solid. 89 speed acceleration, good change of direction, really good man coverage, 6 feet tall. He is absolutely A tier. There's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is definitely better than a guy like Aiden Garnes, and I don't mind Aiden Garnes whatsoever. But when you're comparing him to Rod Woodson, I mean, it's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory, hopefully to you guys at least, that yeah, Rod Woodson is just a slightly better card than Aiden Garnes. Next up, guys, we got Aiden White. I'm going to go C tier for Aiden White. I got Aiden White, Gauntlet Reward in Season 1. And I don't hate Aiden White. I actually used the card for quite some time, but the problem is he can't play man coverage, and I'm one, again, I like to run some man coverage, I like to run some zone coverage, and the problem for Aiden White is he does not, or basically cannot play any sort of man coverage in this game. He just can't. He's going to get absolutely cooked if he is in man coverage, and so it puts people in kind of a bind, like, do you want to run him, do you not want to run him? It really is tough. I do think Aiden White's okay, not necessarily my favorite corner. Will Johnson is still an A-tier corner on this game. Will Johnson's still one of the best corners that I've used. And I've used a lot of good corners. Will Johnson's up there. 88 speed, 87 acceleration. Really good man coverage, solid zone coverage, great in press, good pursuit, 6'2", an absolute beast in this game. He still is A-tier. Tacario Davis. Is he B-tier or is he A-tier? I think it's really kind of tough for Tacario because he is super tall. 6'4", 87 speed acceleration, good man, good zone. He is going A-tier. I know his speed's not that high, but he is 6'4". And if a card's 6'4", I got to show him some respect. I feel like I have to. Again, 6'4", you got respect in my book. Tacario Davis, go all the way up to A-tier. Simon Revel up next, I think is how you pronounce it, at least. If I pronounce it wrong, I apologize. You can get this card in the trophy section of the market. 88 speed, 89 acceleration, really good man coverage. Thing that I'm concerned about here, change of direction and zone coverage. Those are the two things that I'm like, I don't know about. But 6'3", solid. Good speed, good acceleration, great in man coverage. I think B tier is the right spot. I wish his change of direction was better, but he's long, lengthy, really solid man coverage speaking. I think B tier is the right spot for Mr. Revel in this game. Surtain up next. I think B tier for Patrick Surtain. And I've used a lot of corners. Like I said, Surtain can absolutely hold his own. Is he going to be, one of the best corners in the game? I don't know about all that, but I do know he is going to hold his own. 87 speed. 87 man coverage, 82 zone, good change of direction, 6'2". I'm going to go B tier. I know he's kind of a little outdated at this point. I get that, and honestly, I agree with that. But when it comes down to it, I still think the card can play and compete at the highest level. So I'm going to respect Surtain a decent amount, putting him at B tier. If you guys disagree with me, that is okay. But let me know where you would have Surtain, because I think B tier is the right spot. I do think he's better than a guy like Aiden White. Dorian Strong up next, one of the newer cards on this list. I guess, not super new, but did come out in the homecoming drop. 88 speed. Change of direction's a little low. 6 feet tall, good man, decent zone, B tier. I don't think Strong's great, but don't think he's bad. 87 Patrick Peterson at this stage. I think C tier is probably the right option. And for a card who was solid at his time, I think that's the right option. Really good man coverage, really good change of direction, 6'1" as well. I think he's just kind of the opposite of Aiden White, right? Aiden White's going to play way better zone coverage, where Patrick Peterson's going to be way better in man coverage. So it really just kind of depends, again, what type of scheme are you running? Do you want a card that's going to play better man coverage or zone coverage? I think both those cards are C tier. Xavier Brown up next. Let's talk about Xavier Brown, see what he is going to provide for you guys on the field. 88 speed, 88 acceleration, really good zone coverage. But the 76 change of direction is crazy. For a cornerback to have 76 change of direction, I don't know. If you play any man coverage whatsoever, Xavier Brown, simply put, cannot play for you. He is 6 feet tall. That change of direction is the reason I'm throwing him at C tier. That is just an absolutely ridiculous stat to have as a cornerback. 87 D'Angelo Hall, split the middle. I'll go C tier with you, maybe. I'm going to go D tier. I still don't love the 87 D'Angelo Hall. He's okay. Just not one of my favorite cards on this list. Darian Porter, he's a beast in man coverage. I'm going to go B tier, but I think I'm going to go A tier. I'm going to go A tier. If you run man coverage, Darian Porter is one of the best corners in the entire game. I'm telling you, I've used Darian Porter a lot, played against him a lot. In man coverage, your card is an absolute beast. Zone coverage-wise, not as good, but he's right up there with Tacario Davis. I'm going A tier with Mr. Darian Porter. Travis Hunter, I thought I already talked about. Oh, yeah, we have two Travis Hunters. Forgot. This Travis Hunter, he's fine. The problem is he doesn't compare to the new Travis. I guess he somewhat compares. He's just basically -2 in every stat. Still going to be really solid. Again, the pursuit is crazy. Good speed, good acceleration, good change of direction, solid in man coverage. He's still B tier. Still a solid corner. Tommy Hill stinks. 84 speed, D tier. You stink. Aqib Talib, I run him sometimes. I'm going to go C tier. I play him sometimes. And he actually does some things on the field really, really well. But when you're comparing his stats to some of the other cards that we have seen, I do believe C tier is probably the right spot for Aqib Talib in college football 25 Ultimate Team. So this is my tier list that I personally came up with today. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments. By far and away, Charles Woodson should be in his own tier. Benjamin Morrison is up there. And then there's a gap between Will Lee as well as Quincy Riley. Maybe those cards should be moved down. But it's just tough because I don't even think Travis Hunter and Jabbar Muhammad should be compared to Tacario Davis and Darian Porter. But I tried to put them in order of like how much I like them at their specific tier. At least with S and A, they are in order. So just kind of let that be known. They're in order for S and A tier. Those are probably my top 11 corners right now in the game. Let me know your thoughts on it. Drop a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.